That night started like any other. My wife, Emma, had invited her colleagues over for dinner, people she wanted to impress. She worked in marketing, surrounded by people who loved to talk big and show off. I didn't mind. I was proud of her success. I just wanted to be there to support her. Before the guests arrived, I asked if she needed help. She looked at me, sighing. "Just don't say anything embarrassing tonight, okay?" That comment stung. "What's that supposed to mean?" I asked. She smiled nervously. "You know how my coworkers are. They can be judgmental. You're great, but sometimes you say things that don't fit their vibe." It was like a knife through my chest. I was her husband, not a child she needed to manage. But I stayed quiet, deciding not to ruin her evening. When the guests arrived, the house filled with laughter and expensive perfume. Emma was glowing, charming, laughing at all the right moments. She looked beautiful, but distant, like she wasn't my wife that night, just a woman performing for approval. As dinner went on, someone asked me what I did for a living. I told them I was a mechanic and ran a small garage. One of her friends laughed. "Oh, so you're the reason Emma always drives such a clean car." I chuckled. "You could say that." But Emma rolled her eyes. "Yeah, he's great with cars. Too bad he can't fix the leaky faucet in our kitchen." The table erupted in laughter. I forced a smile, but my stomach twisted. She'd never mocked me like that in private. Her words were sharp, and she said them in front of strangers. A few minutes later, another friend joked, "Emma, how does it feel being the breadwinner?" Emma smirked. "Feels pretty good. I guess every queen needs a handyman around the castle." Everyone laughed again. That was the moment I went silent. I felt my throat tighten, my face burning. I wasn't angry at her success. I was proud of it. But she made me small in front of people who barely knew me. She turned our love into a joke. When dinner ended, the guests lingered, sipping wine and talking loudly. Emma acted like nothing was wrong. I stood up, grabbed my jacket and said quietly, "I'll be back later." She barely looked up. "Where are you going?" "For some air," I said and walked out. I didn't go far, just drove around town, letting the night swallow my anger. The city lights blurred through my windshield as I thought about how we got here. We used to be partners. She once loved my rough hands, said they showed how hard I worked. Now, those same hands embarrassed her. I parked by the river, watching the reflections dance on the water. I stayed there for hours, thinking. When I finally went home, the house was dark. Everyone was gone. Emma was asleep on the couch, her makeup smudged, a half-empty glass of wine beside her. I quietly packed a bag. Just a few clothes, my toothbrush, and the watch she'd given me on our wedding day. I left my wedding ring on the table and a note. When the person you love starts to make you feel ashamed of who you are, it's time to go. Then I walked out. For the next few days, I stayed at my brother's place. He didn't ask many questions, just handed me a beer and said, "Take your time." Emma called the next morning. I didn't answer. She texted, "You're overreacting." It was just a joke. But it wasn't just a joke. It was years of quiet disrespect, of her slowly outgrowing me and thinking that made her better. 2 days later, she showed up at my garage. She looked pale, tired. "We need to talk," she said softly. I wiped my hands and nodded toward the office. She sat down, eyes glistening. "I didn't mean to hurt you. It was supposed to be funny. Everyone laughs like that at work. I thought you could take a joke." I met her gaze. "A joke is when it's harmless. What you did was make me your punchline." Tears filled her eyes. I was trying to fit in. They're all so successful, and I wanted to feel like I belonged. I sighed. "You already belonged. You didn't need to tear me down to prove that." She started to cry. "I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said those things. I just wanted them to like me." For a long time, I said nothing. Then I told her something I'd realized that night by the river. I've spent years supporting you, celebrating your wins, standing by you when you doubted yourself. But the second you felt embarrassed, you turned me into a joke. You didn't need my help anymore. You needed my silence. Her shoulders trembled. Please, don't leave. I'll fix this. I'll tell everyone I was wrong. I'll do anything. I looked at her, at the woman I once believed would never hurt me. Emma, this isn't about what they think. It's about what you think. And right now, I don't think you see me as your equal. She reached out to hold my hand, but I pulled away gently. I need space. Maybe we'll find our way back. But for now, I can't come home. I walked out of my own office, leaving her there crying. It broke my heart, but it also healed something inside me. Weeks passed before she stopped calling. She later sent one last message. I finally understand. You deserved better than my pride. I didn't reply. It's been a year since that night. I've moved to a new town, opened a bigger garage, and built something I'm proud of. Sometimes I still think about her, about how love can die not from betrayal, but from 1,000 tiny humiliations. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see a man who may have been mocked for his simplicity, but who never lost his self-respect. And in the end, that's worth more than anyone's approval.